our meeting next week, which, Jessica, has that now been officially changed to WebEx? And do people have the links for it?
Yes.
Okay. Can you just remind us of what the date and time is for that?
Sure. It's Monday the 10th, January 10th at 3:30.
Okay. So that's in just 6 days. I plan to, at that meeting, take up from the discussion that we had last time, and we will all have fresh in our minds what we discussed at the last meeting, because the minutes from that meeting, the October 21st, are among the meeting minutes that Jessica circulated for approval for this meeting. I guess we will get to it in a moment, but I imagine that we might need to, it's possible that we would need to take up the 4 opinions that I have circulated today. I saw that Lisa actually jumped right in and reviewed them all. Thank you, Lisa, for that. But it would certainly be quite Herculean if, in fact, for Lisa to do it, for anybody to have done it. So when we get to the closed meeting part, I'm going to just kind of take people's temperatures on whether they would like to see if we can just respond by email, but if not, we would have that as part of the next meeting. I also intend to have some discussion at the planning meeting regarding the lobbying function, lobbyist oversight function that the Ethics Commission has. This is something that I just felt that, particularly with there being new members, that it would be a good thing to make sure everyone is aware of it and comfortable with the process. And I am going to be asking in this meeting, only so that you can start wrapping your mind around it in preparation for Monday, that Kelly might, and she did not know I was going to call upon her to do this, but that Kelly might be willing to, I'm sure she'll be quite good at doing this because she deals with it a lot, just give like a, just like a 1 or 2 minute, just sort of very brief kind of statement to everybody so that they know generally, make sure everybody is generally on the same page, and then we can delve into it at the planning meeting. So with that, I have nothing more for the chair's report other than to be wishing everybody a happy new year. We can go on to the approval of the minutes. So I believe the first one would be from the planning or special meeting that was October 21st, which, let me just look here a second, had both an open and closed portion. I'm going to see if we can take them both together, both open and closed. So, and these have been circulated quite some time ago. So I'm assuming that everybody has a chance to review them and ask if there is a motion to approve the open and closed sections of the meeting minutes from the special planning meeting that was held on October 21st, 2021.
I move to approve the October 21st open and closed minutes.
Thank you, Lisa. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Laura. Any discussion? Okay. Before I take the vote, can do we know who is on the phone number that ends in 82?
It's Mike Ruby with the Country Chronicle and the Peak newspapers.
Hi, Mr. Ruby. Thanks for joining us
Hi.
for the open session of the meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're now ready for the vote. All in favor of approval of the motion as stated by Commissioner Tancredi?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Excuse me, I'm trying to find the second one.
The second date's December 7th.
It's December 7th, yes. Thank you. I was confused for a moment. I was looking for November, but it said there were 2 of them in December, correct? Yeah. So, okay. So the December 7th meeting minutes, were also circulated to you a little bit ago. And I ask if there is a motion to approve them. That would be, again, both the open and closed sections of those minutes.
I move to approve the open and closed minutes from December 7th.
Okay. And,
I second the
is there a
motion.
second?
I second the motion, Otis Collins.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Our last one would be the December 21st minutes. So again, asking for a motion to approve both the open and closed portions of the December 21st minutes.
I move to approve the December 21st open and closed minutes.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay.
Helpful.
All right. I would call now upon the executive director to give her report. We have a guest on, so the executive director should obviously address only matters appropriate for open meeting at this time.
I think Otis has a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Otis?
No, I'm actually trying to lower my hand. Excuse me.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you,
You're
Kelly.
trying to what?
I am trying to lower my hand.
Oh, okay. I don't even see your hand up, Otis. So, all right. So Kelly, would you like to proceed? Oh, there's your hand. Okay. So Kelly, would you like to proceed with any open matter appropriate information for the executive director's report?
I have an email into OIT to touch base with them about the proposed changes that we gave them, I think the 2nd or 3rd week of December. My understanding from the initial email was that he was going to tackle them in the beginning of the new year. I haven't heard anything back. When I do, I will probably just forward the email along. As I remember, the email trigger is supposed to go out, I think, on the 15th. So I would like to assume that those changes will be made by the 15th. But that would just probably be a guess based on email correspondence. The only other thing to say for the open session of the meeting is that with respect to lobbying, the Ethics Commission is responsible for 4 different areas for lobbyists. Notice, is your hand raised or are you just showing up for WebEx?
I'm sorry, guys. My computer has not been functioning properly. I'm actually trying to lower the hand. Is it showing the hand?
Yes.
Showing a hand up. Yes.
And I've never seen a hand raised before on WebEx, but it's really, the graphics are so much more interesting than on Zoom. It kind of waves back and forth. I don't know if you've seen that, Otis.
Yes, I see it, but I'm trying to.
Yeah, there it is. Oh,
Okay.
you just got rid of it. Now it's back. Okay. Well,
I apologize. My
No
computer.
worries. It's fine.
I was just going to say, with respect for the lobbyists, and at the risk of kind of covering material that everyone's aware of, a lobbyist is someone who has been hired to advocate on behalf of their client. The commission is responsible for the registration of lobbyists, which can kind of simply be described as, hey, raise your hand if you're a lobbyist. It's self-reporting, but if you are registering as a lobbyist, you have to file a registration report saying, hi, I'm lobbyist Jane Doe, and I'm going to, advocate on behalf of ABC company. We are responsible for the registrations. We're responsible for collecting something known as the activity reports for lobbyists. This is the idea that when you registered, you said, hi, I'm a lobbyist, I'm Jane Doe lobbyist for ABC. I'm going to register to lobby on their behalf between January and September of 2022. We then ask them to fill out a document pursuant to the code that says during the course of your representation, your advocacy on behalf of this company, how much money did you get, whether it's a retainer fee, because most of these individuals are attorneys, and how was that fee spent? What did you spend on advertising, solicitation, meals, gifts, etc., to go about your advocacy on behalf of the client? So that's a registration and an activity report. Unfortunately for the office and for Jessica, those are all due at the same time that the financial disclosures start to trickle in. The rule for registration is you have to get the registration by January 31st or within 5 days of lobbying. Most people are kind of known lobbyists and they register every year, and we get them trickled in January. The activity reports for the previous year, just like the financial disclosures, are also due by January 31. And then the commission is responsible for totaling up the amounts. There were 250 lobbyists. They were paid a general total of X. And when you add all the reports, they spent X on meals and events, Y on retainer fees, or however, the breakdown of the money. That's a report that the office prepares, which is then posted on the website. So those are 2 of the 4 areas of lobbying. We are also responsible for training lobbyists. The Ethics Commission does a lobbyist, it's responsible for training lobbyists twice a year. Once has to be in March, and there's another time. I'm in the process, I say that generally because I've been very busy with IG matters, but of making a lobbying course, much like the ethics course, where that they can just kind of take it, be certified with the commission, and move on. But we have a training requirement. And then the 4th is, maybe there's only 3 areas. I thought there was a 4th area. Ethics training. Area. Maybe it's just 3. Maybe I'm combining the training. Because traditionally I was, and I think Sue also did WebExes, right, Sue? Oh, I know what the 4th is.
We did ours in person. It
In
was
person,
pre-COVID.
Okay. So I did I've done a couple WebExes. I know the 4th thing I was going to say, it's 3 areas that we're responsible for. The 4th is something I'm working on, which is having these 2 forms, the registration form and the activity report, also be online. Because like the financial disclosure, they are hard copies. They are filled out, sometimes correctly, sometimes incorrectly. They are then scanned. They're retained. I think it would be much simpler to have it be a similar application to the financial disclosure, where the form would be online, would again have the same kind of requirements through the form. And that would also help with the posting of who in fact is a lobbyist, because that's something that while the code doesn't specify that we have to provide that information, I took the approach, I think Sue agreed with me, we just post who is a registered lobbyist. We put them in an Excel spreadsheet and post it. So with having those forms online, it would be actually, you could just run a report in the system and post that system. So there are 4 things I wanted to tell you, 3 areas that the commission covers for lobbying. Questions about that? This is kind of like a very fair basic.
So we can discuss this more at the next meeting. Kelly, I have a question, not about that, but regarding the status of things with the forms.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And you were referring to the decision that we had made at the last meeting to be aiming for the middle of January for the sending out of that, I'm going to call it the announcement email, right? And then, of course, it was after that meeting that you got the feedback that you shared with everybody from, is it OIT? Is that the name of the acronym? That basically we wouldn't be in a queue for making those, for basically finalizing the form until after January 1st. It sounded like you were saying that we still do not know exactly when after January 1st is, but you were hoping that it would be, okay, I think we want to stop here a second because we were told that the cell number was Michael Ruby, and now there's also a Michael Ruby. So are these now two different Michael Rubies?
No, the same
Ruby,
Michael
are
Ruby.
you on
I'm
your-
trying to get this to work.
Are you on your computer as well as your phone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. My question is, see, we didn't really discuss what we would do if it became the time that we had decided that we would have the announcement email sent, if the form was not yet finalized, because I think we all thought that the form would be finalized by the end of December. So I
think
thought we ought to address that. Like,
I think that, yeah, so I can't imagine a scenario where Jeff would create the email trigger and not have the form done. But I don't know the answer to that. I feel very, very confident in my assumption. But all I can do is just, once he replies.
yeah. Do you think there's any chance that some people might think to themselves, oh my goodness, it's the new year. I know I'm going to go file my financial disclosure form right now without waiting for any kind of an announcement email, so that they would end up doing, right, like the old form rather than the new form. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
In all the years I've been with the county, I have never seen anybody file early. I think it
And
would
we
be
would get an
very
email.
likely.
We would get an email that they filed and nobody's filed early. I mean,
Okay.
that is a concern. But the form, you know, the changes are pretty minor considering the overall it's folding of things and it's kind of adding options.
Yeah.
Again, I'll just, as soon as Jeff emails me back, I'll forward it on to him.
Right. Okay, so
Susan's right. Like 90% of people file between April 15th and April 30th.
did any of the commissioners have any questions that they want to raise with Kelly regarding the timing and the rollout with respect to the new form and the announcement email?
I did, just so that I understand that we're on the same page. If for whatever reason the OIT isn't finished with the forms by January the 15th, do we all agree that the email would not go out? The email would not go out until OIT was finished with the forms. That's my question.
It's fine with me. I don't know that my vote matters, but that would be my assumption, that it wouldn't go out until it was final. Yeah.
Kelly, do you expect to get some kind of feedback from Jeff prior to the middle of January? In other words,
No.
are you thinking that you're kind of waiting till the middle of January to see if it's done?
I'll email him again as soon as we get off the call.
Okay. I mean, I'm not suggesting that you push if you think that is not appropriate or wise. I was just wondering.
I'll email him again.
Okay. Anything more on that from anybody? Kelly, was there anything else that you wanted to have as part of your report as part of open meeting?
No.
Okay. I see on the agenda, one of the things for your report is received inquiries. Do you have anything on that so that we would need to go into closed session? I myself would like to make a reference to something having to do with the inquiry report that we got from Jessica.
Sure.
But other than that, do you also have some other items?
Yes, but not for open session.
Okay, fine. Okay, so then I am going to ask for a motion from the commission to go into closed session as an administrative function so that the received inquiries to which Kelly was just referring can be addressed, and also the inquiry log that Jessica has circulated. Is there a motion to that effect?
I move that we go into closed session.
Okay. And for the purpose that I just said, Otis?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yes. Okay, yeah. Okay, and is there a second?
I second.
Right, I'm going to take a vote and I'm going to poll you all. Lisa, how do you vote? Laura
Yes.
and Otis.
Aye, yes.
So, and I also vote in favor of going into closed session. So I am now asking Jessica to turn off the recorder, or else Kelly, who's ever doing it.
To Ruby to let him know we were going back into open session and to use the same link.
And excuse me?
And that he would use the same link as before.
Okay. So, so we have just been in closed session to discuss certain received inquiries from the executive director, certain pending advisory opinions that are in draft that were circulated earlier, as well as under new business to new requests for advisory opinion, which we have just discussed. And we had closed pursuant to administrative function. So we are now, I guess at the end, does anybody have anything? Hello, Mr. Ruby. You're back. I must tell you we're about to close again now. But
Okay.
does anybody else have anything else before we adjourn? And hearing nothing, although seeing that Otis's hand is still up, but I believe that's incorrect still. I would ask then for a motion to adjourn.
A motion to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, is there a second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we are adjourned at 5:10 p.m. And with that, we can go off of the record.